A young man lived with his father and mother. One day, the old man said to the young man, "You're our only child. You must marry and have children." So the old man found a wife for his son. She was a fine young woman, and her young husband loved her. A year passed, and she gave birth to a little boy. The family lived happily together, but they were very poor. The young man and his father worked hard in the fields, while the young woman and her mother-in-law worked hard in the house. Despite their efforts, they never had enough food. One day the young man said to his father, "This little farm is too small for our family. Let me go and find work in the town. I will earn some money and bring it home to you." The father, saddened, said, "You are my only child, and we need you here at home. But you are right. The farm is too small for us all. Go to the town, find work, and earn some money. We will wait for you here at home." So the young man kissed his son and said goodbye to his parents and his wife. He began the long journey to the town, traveling for 2 days until he finally arrived. He stopped at the first big house and knocked on the door. A man opened it, and the young man asked, "Is there work for me here?" The man replied, "No, my friend." The young man walked on, going to many houses and knocking on many doors, always asking the same question, "Do you have work for me here?" The answer was always the same, "No." Tired and hungry, the young man came to a monastery. He knocked on the door, and an old monk opened it. "Please, Father," the young man said, "let me work for you." "How long will you stay?" the monk asked. "For a few months only," answered the young man. "Then I must go back to my family." The monk began to shut the door, saying, "I can't help you. If you work for us, you must promise to stay for a long, long time." Fearing hunger, the young man pleaded, "Father, please don't close the door. I promise to work for you for a long, long time." The monk smiled and said, "Come in, my son." The next day, the young man began to work. The work was not difficult, and the monks were kind to him. He worked hard for them, and they were pleased with him. A month passed, and at first the young man thought about his family every day. "Is my son well?" he thought. "Are my parents happy? Does my wife have enough food to eat?" But slowly the young man forgot his family. He was happy with the monks. The years passed quickly, and one day, as the young man was counting the monks' money, he realized he had been there for 10 years. The next morning he went to see the monks. "I've been a good servant," he said, "but you have never paid me. Now I want to see my family. Please give me the money you owe me and let me go." The monks smiled at him, saying, "You're right. You have worked hard for us. Now you can choose. Do you want us to give you your money, or do you want us to give you our blessing?" Frowning, the young man said, "I want your blessing, but I want my money too." The monk explained, "We owe you $400 silver dollars, but each blessing costs $100. Unhappy, the young man finally said, "Give me your blessing. It is better than the money." So the first monk blessed him, saying, "Do not leave the road. Do not go to the right or the left, only go straight on." The second monk blessed him, saying, "Soon you will be a guest. Obey your host. Take what he gives you." The third monk blessed him, saying, "Do not be angry. Always think before you act." The monks then gave the young man 100 silver dollars, and he left the monastery. Soon he met two men walking along the road who invited him to join them. The three men walked on together until they came to a crossroads. One of the men said, "Follow me. I'll show you a better path," and turned to the left. The other man followed, but the young man remembered the first monk's blessing. "Do not go to the left or the right, only go straight on." Smiling at his new friend, he said, "I'm sorry, I cannot go with you. I must go straight on." He said goodbye to the two men and continued down the road. Crossing the river and walking up the next hill, he heard shouts behind him. Looking back, he saw the two men shouting for help as robbers attacked them. Grateful for the monk's blessing, he continued down the road. He walked for a long time, feeling hungry, thirsty, and tired. As it grew dark, he thought, "I must find a place to sleep." In a wild place with no houses, he became frightened of hyenas and leopards, so he walked faster. Finally, he saw a light in the distance and ran towards it. The light came from a little house on a hill. He knocked on the door, and an old man with white hair and fine white clothes welcomed him inside. The young man felt ashamed when the old man offered to wash his feet, but remembered the monk's second blessing: "Obey your host. Take what he gives you." So he sat down, and the old man washed his feet. Clapping his hands, the old man summoned a young blind girl with a dish of delicious food. "Feed our guest," the old man instructed. The girl fed the young man, and he ate well. He laid down to rest and slept all night. In the morning, he thanked his host and expressed his need to continue his journey. As the sun rose, he saw his host's true nature. The old man's teeth were sharp, his eyes small and cruel. The old man claimed, "You're lucky. You didn't refuse my hospitality. I wanted to wash your feet and you accepted. I gave you food and you ate it. Many people have come to my house. They didn't let me wash their feet and they didn't accept my food. I killed them all." Pointing to the ground, he said, "Their bodies are under your feet." Terrified, the young man asked about the blind girl, and the old man revealed, "I took her eyes. I made her blind, and now she is my servant." Determined to escape, the young man quickly said goodbye and thanked the old man, claiming, "God bless you." As he walked away, the old man called him back, saying, "Wait, I have something for you." The old man gave him a sack, and the young man ran away down the road. The sack was very heavy, and when he stopped under a tree to open it, he found dollars, silver dollars. Unable to count them all, he realized, "The monks saved my life again, and their second blessing has made me rich too." He continued quickly down the road, thinking about his dear parents and wife, anticipating the happiness he could bring them. As he walked for a long time, the sun high in the sky, and feeling hot and tired, he finally reached home. Passing a church where a crowd had gathered, he saw an old man and a boy fighting. Initially angry, he remembered the monk's third blessing: do not be angry. Always think before you act. Curious about the fight, he asked a woman nearby what was happening. She explained the sad story of a poor old man, the boy's grandfather, whose son had left him 10 years ago. The old man, unhappy and wanting to kill himself, was being stopped by his grandson. Tears filled the young man's eyes as he shouted, "Oh, my father! Oh, my child!" He pushed through the crowd, took the young boy's arm, and looked into his eyes, saying, "My son." The old man had fallen to the ground, and the young man helped him stand again. "Father," he said, and the old man looked at him in disbelief, asking, "Is it really you? Have you really come home again?" The young man affirmed, "Yes, father, and I'll never leave you again." Together, the young man went to his house with his father and his son, where his mother and wife kissed him but soon began to cry. Assuring them, he said, "I haven't come home to die, but to live. The monks have blessed me, and we will be happy now for the rest of our lives."